Alright, just a heads up, like Amy might like appear and like you might like hear the door close and stuff.
Is she a magician? She's just going to randomly appear out of nowhere.
Then you lock the fucking door.
It is locked, but you know she has this thing called the key.
No. You change that key while she's out one day.
And they get chucked down on your ass.
Assert your dominance.
Also, call her woman. Women love it when they get called woman. And send unsolicited dick pics, because girls just love opening up a phone with a big dick right in it. Any other words of advice you got, Nick?
Bitches love guys who can cook.
That one's true, though.
Yeah.
Saying the rest of them aren't, Hans.
I'm trying to think of other bad relationship advice you could give. Flirt with her sister if she has one. She'll love that.
That's gonna be a bit creepy because they're a lot older.
Make sure she has a husband. Oh wait, that's just Hans's style of woman.
Oh, Dominic, that's bringing that shit up.
Is it story time now? Well, what happened, Hans? What happened?
This happened like when I was like 19.
Yeah, but you know, I'm getting old.
Damn, that's a hell of a throwback.
That was almost 10 years ago, Hans. How does that make you feel?
No, it wasn't, Nick. That's not good. That's not good time.
It is a story that should not be said on the internet. Let's just leave it at that.
Brothers and sisters, welcome to the Not So Super Bash Bros presents Game Club for June 2018. Yes, Game Club is back. The monthly video podcast review thing where we take turns picking games, go play them for the month, and come back and discuss them for your listening pleasure. This month, it was Danganronpa 2. Goodbye Despair, developed by Spike Chunsoft. And as always, I am the ultimate host, Nick Davis, joined by the ultimate dry spell, Hans Davis.
Jesus Christ, Nick. Are you just going to bring up all my personal life issues like fucking recently?
The ultimate bad game picker, Alex Proudfoot.
That's not fair.
And the ultimate friend, IY Chung.
Oh, that's so gay.
I feel bad because you always end up getting the shit one, so I have to throw in the occasional nice one.
Wait, like it's just like, oh, you know what? It's always a laugh at, you know, IY. This time will just be desperately vicious at the other two.
Hey man, it stacks up, right? He's been building it up. It's okay, Nick, right? You see, whenever I pick a terrible game, you're gonna take that away from me.
Yes, Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair, the visual novel adventure game originally released only in Japan on PSP in July 2012, with various re-releases on different consoles and English releases throughout the years. Hans, you picked Danganronpa 2.
I did.
Explain your reasoning.
It had been a year, give or take, since we did Danganronpa 1. Everyone pretty much really liked Danganronpa 1, so I thought, yeah, let's do number 2.
Fair enough. As always, I've split this into 3 categories. Come on. Who's blowing the nose?
Sorry.
God damn it,
My
Hans.
hay fever is killing me.
At least mute the mic.
I'm good. I've got
Just
my
leave it
tissue.
As always, I have split this into 3 categories. Gameplay, story and characters, and does it improve on the previous game? Before we kick things off, how far did everyone get in Danganronpa 2? I finished it.
Begrudgingly.
I finished it.
Begrudgingly, yes, I finished it.
I
Hans, you
finished
finished
it.
it. Alex, you finished it.
I too
Alex
finished
finished it. Nick
Sweet.
Alex finished it within a fucking week. Holy shit.
So first up, gameplay.
Can we just say cut and paste from the first one with a few added comments?
The basic gameplay loop has remained largely the same as the first game. You have some free time where you can go social link, for lack of a better term, with the other students on the island. Then someone gets murdered, you have to investigate, Phoenix Wright style, finding evidence around the place in the murder scene. And then,
God,
again, Phoenix Wright style.
Nick, please. Phoenix Wright is so last year, right? Detective Pikachu, right?
Sorry, Detective. Is that the gameplay of Detective Pikachu? I don't know.
Yeah, I think you just click stuff in the environment.
Then you're called into a class trial, and then you have to use all the evidence you gather to find contradictions and things like that to solve the case. Repeat ad nauseum. I want to kind of start this with talking about the big changes they have made around the gameplay. First up, why did they feel the need to change the traversal in the overworld?
Yeah, I agree with that. Part of me thinks the only reason they changed the traversal was that they could have that fucking like chibi pet, Neopet thing as a side piece.
But that works just as fine in the like.
Oh, first person? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Actually, it would work exactly as fine.
Yeah, it would work the exact same way.
It's not good. It like half the time I feel like I wasn't sure if I was going the right way or not, so I just ended up doing a full lap of the island. Like just picked a direction and went that way.
I completely agree. I think the new navigating around the islands it's really odd, and I don't understand why they did it. Like, did they do it just so it didn't feel exactly like the last game? I don't know, but yeah, no, the new traverse is crap.
They might have done it because you technically had further to go instead of just going up floors.
All in all, yes, poor choice. It was not. I think it was a vast downgrade from just moving around first person.
So the other the other big changes in the gameplay came in the class trials, and boy howdy, they made some changes, and let's just say all but one of them is dog shit.
If you say that the logic dive is dog shit, I gotta slap the shit out of you. 'Cause I
Dude,
love
it's
that.
so clunky. It controls
so fun.
like shit.
No, I find it alright.
I liked it. I think it is like, of all the new mechanics, quote unquote, that they added to the class trials, that was the one that I thought was actually the good one.
I feel like I would not have minded that mode if the camera angle was better. Because I find that because the camera's really low, it's kind of hard to see the gaps. I actually find myself just falling in loads.
I also just think like the jumping isn't that precise, that they make you do like, oh, you literally have to jump over this gap from like side to side, and the jumping's not that precise that's fun to do.
I didn't have an issue with the actual like controls of it. I thought it controlled fine.
For the rare occasion, I'm agreeing with Hans. I had no issue with the logic dive.
Big Fudge and the Big Dog on the same page for a change.
It's not the only bad thing they've added. The new Gambit, the new Hangman's Gambit is bad.
It's stupid. Why would you change Hangman? I
What
don't
was it
get
like
that.
in the first game? Because whenever I saw it in the second, was it just
the letters
Hangman?
just appeared and you selected them? Like it was just you hit a button to like say, oh no, this is the letter I want.
Yeah, you were just given a much shorter. It was just Hangman, but it was down a much shorter.
Yeah, like,
To make the challenge, the only challenge was they shortened the time a lot.
Yeah, like
So
the
there
letters
was,
just
like,
kept
yeah.
popping up around your character, and you would just hit A. All right, I want this letter. Hit A. Is it right?
Yeah,
it goes in.
Because like the challenge of Hangman is the fact that is the whole thing of Hangman. I don't get why they tried to add like, oh, 2 letters touch that aren't the same, it explodes and you get damaged. That doesn't make sense. Just keep Hangman.
That was probably the thing I didn't like.
And the rebuttal showdown is just, I don't see the point in it beyond it's just one-on-one arguing. It adds nothing.
okay, I don't mind. Okay, so I don't think that argument is good.
I don't see what it adds beyond like what the panic talk, or not the panic talk, the like make your argument stuff was.
No. So I think the idea of the 1v1 is good because it gives, or rather, it has the potential to make that individual character significant or more significant. Because they are taking a spotlight at that moment. The problem, in my opinion, is that they do it at really dumb times, and the idea of slashing through their arguments, like the actual gameplay element, is really bad, if only because I want to be able to hear what they're saying, right? I want to be like, oh, okay, so this is what this guy's saying. But like gameplay-wise, I'm like, oh, I gotta slash through all this shit.
Yeah, you gotta like hurry through their entire point.
But they give you a limited number of slashes, but that's only
relevant later.
Yeah, it only happened for me. It only happened once, where like, oh shit, I actually need to be a bit more careful about when I slash. The rest of the times, I was just like, all right, wiggle the stick, let's go all day, every day.
It depends on the difficulty as well.
I think the only decent addition to the class trial stuff is the agreement stuff, where you can use your evidence to agree with someone rather than argue. Well, there's not a lot to the gameplay, so I'm happy moving on if there's nothing else anyone else wants to bring up.
Let me whip out my story notes. This is, as I said to Nick, right? This is the first game on Game Club where I've actually written notes.
But for just 1 second before we go on this, I think I should probably point out, because it's kind of gameplay related. Obviously, this is a visual novel. There is very little variance in how it can play out. I really struggled with this time round. Like, obviously, I've completed the game before.
Hey, Hans, I haven't, and I still fucking struggled.
No, but I knew every twist. I knew all the evidence to use and stuff. I was just proper, if I could have just fast forwarded through everything, I would have. But because I had to capture footage, I couldn't. And I really struggled getting it through this time.
That's just you haven't played the game though. Like that's not like fair
like I
to
said,
say like.
No. I know. Like I'm just saying.
There's no replay value.
Yeah, like it is. There is the replay value to it. It's a game. I just feel like it's a gameplay. I know again, it's a problem with the genre more so than the game itself. But I just felt like it was worth.
Well, I don't think every game should have replay value.
No, I agree. But to be honest, I felt like I had to say it because otherwise I'm gonna feel like I'm really shitting on this game at the end of my review. And I don't want to feel like I'm shitting on it because I'm not.
So the story, brief synopsis. Similar to the first game, you are 16 students put into a setting. This time it's a lovely tropical island. And kind of forced to kill each other. They are forced to kill each other one by one. And essentially, you have to try and get away with the murder, or else you're killed. If you get away with it, everyone else is killed, and you get to leave the island. Obviously, this is following on from the first game, which kind of established kind of what happened in the world, and how everyone was kind of watching what was happening in the first game, and that kind of spun the world into essentially complete anarchy. And herein lies my problem with the story of this game. They spend so long reestablishing everything that you already know from the first game that it takes fucking forever until anything of note starts happening.
I do not mind that because I feel like you always see in reviews how one of the things that they always say in sequels is that as a negative they'll say, oh, the game doesn't explain if you haven't played from the start of the series. Like, I don't think it's a bad thing that they have to reiterate. And to be honest, I don't recall them, like, I don't know, I feel like nothing like of the grand story happens until way later.
Yeah, but that's they are constantly teasing like what happened in the first game, when I would say 70% of the people who are playing this game already know what happened in the first game.
That is true.
Like, that's the problem, is they are kind of teasing the first game as if most people who are playing this one won't know what happened, when the complete opposite is probably true.
But is that not for like the sake of your character though?
Yeah, because sure, you have no memories.
Probably, but it makes the game bad to play.
But on the other side, though, the events of the first game was the whole idea of, well, hold on, maybe Monokuma is lying, because you never actually find out what the world is like at the end of the first game. So the whole teasing this is kind of, it's retreading some of the same ground, yeah, but it's furthering that story because you don't know if he's lying or not still.
I don't know, I didn't get the feeling he was lying at the end of the first game. I kind of believed him.
But the thing is, like, it's never shown.
Yeah, there's no
so
proof either ways.
You can't prove
Hey,
it.
he showed me that giant Monokuma rampaging through a city. That's all the proof I need.
I think, like, you do have some points. I feel like the fact that it retreads some of the same ground does kind of make it a wee bit boring in parts. But I think some of the keynote stuff they do, which is like memory manipulation and that sort of thing, they get that out of the way really early. And Monokuma even says, oh, no one likes the same twist twice. And like they just go like, yeah, your memories have been erased, you've lost like so many years of your life, or have you, ha ha ha. So I like that they just throw them out there right away, or use them in different ways. But yes, no, retreading some of the same area does make it a bit boring.
Oh, I.
Hello.
Talk to me about Nagato.
Oh.
Words.
Well, I think, I personally think we should just go through it like case by case.
Oh, okay, we're going through case by case. So case 1, as I said, Byakuga, or however I think that's how you pronounce his name, gets shanked through the floor.
Yep.
By the weird chef guy, Tari.
I did like the case. I liked the fact that Nagano just fucking goes mental halfway through it.
I love that. Because obviously, like, they paint him very similar to Makoto at the start, with him being...
He looks like... And I actually thought he was Makoto.
He's got the same jacket.
The twist was going to be...
Can I also throw this out here? I think all the character designs are far... Character designs and character writing, they're all very similar to characters in the first game. And it's really fucking lazy.
No, I agree with you, and I thought it was lazy until it's revealed. And yes, we are doing spoilers, just we're going out there. When it's revealed that they are the disciples of despair, that to me, that made it better, because I thought, like, you know what, they should mirror what the fuck? They don't give them a nickname,
no, they're just
do they?
dudes. They're students.
Yeah, it's the Hope Peak students. They should mirror the Hope Peak students somewhat then, because they're supposed to be like contrasts of evil, like evil and good and stuff.
But yes, I did enjoy the twist. Obviously, them kind of playing off that they present Nagano as very similar to Makoto at the start, and then having him just be completely batshit insane is a nice twist.
So I wrote for chapter 1 that the navigation of the old building is similar to Danganronpa 1, right? Which is good, which is a positive, which is more immersive than walking left to right, is what I wrote. And also, I liked it because there is no scouting of the building beforehand. So, on all the other cases, you see the island, and then, like, you sort of know things. But in this one, it's like a real shock to the characters and to, like, arguably you, or it's like, oh man, I don't know anything about this place. I think that's really good. And then, this one's a bit deeper, right? So I wrote, it sets the groundwork for the cast, except for Peko and Fuyuhiko, because they're not actually there. Because Peko's in, like, the other room. Because...
Peko's shit in her britches.
Yeah, because everyone is involved. Right? And what I mean by that is, at the start, that first case, you use that girl, the musician's hearing. You use the guy's hamsters. The nurse gets used. Like, all the character, like, you know, the coach, you know, you know how he loves to talk about his own shit. Like, you know, like, all of that is set well. Okay, so I think the first case and the writing of that first case is really good, which got me really excited for the game, right? The exception to this is Mikan, the nurse. So what I really hated, right, and Nick will disagree because we've had this conversation already, is that Mikan's portrayal in the first case is, oh, she's clumsy. She finds herself in these awkward positions, literally. It literally says spread eagle, right, whenever she falls over.
Yep.
And that's, like, the key piece of evidence in that case, right? And, you know, sure, regardless of whatever you think of that kind of character, does not matter, because what I'm trying to say now is, although she is portrayed like that, she is not portrayed like that again. Like, you never find her in those positions again from case 2 onwards. Which I think is a really poor piece of character writing then.
I agree, but I love it. I love the fact that that's the key piece of evidence, because I think that actually provides well to Teru's character more so than hers.
Well, like I said, like, I don't mind, like, that is a thing. It's just that it is not carried forward, is my...
Yeah, like, why not have her, like, fall... Maybe there's only so much fan service they could put in before they realize, maybe we should cut back a bit, guys.
Case 2.
Oh, wait, we haven't heard Alex's opinion on case 1.
Oh, sorry.
I liked it.
Boom.
Sweet.
Case
2.
Case 2. Murder in the beach house. Bat to the head. My favourite character. Pour one out. My bae got killed.
Seriously? She was your favourite?
Yeah, I liked her.
I found her really
What,
boring.
the photographer?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I had no interest in the photographer.
So at the start, I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe this will be my bae, right? And then as soon as I heard one of her default lines was, aren't you supposed to be a man? I was like, nope.
Yeah.
Sexism works both ways. I hope you die. And then, you know what? Second case. And I was pretty happy. Although, the actual murderer, I was actually chatting up, so I was a bit...
Can I just say, my besties have survived the first 2 chapters, which is a massive difference from the first game.
So this, I would say, was my least favourite. Wait, what's the next?
Yeah.
What's the next one? No, yeah, this would be my least favorite one.
I thought the motive bit of this, like playing the video game, went on for far too long. Just on the characters in this, Fuyuhiko, at the start, I actually hated his guts, but by the end of the game, he was one of my favorite characters.
Because he actually has character development.
He has a character arc, yeah.
Yeah, he gets a sick
Plus-
eye patch.
I was going to say, plus he has a sick eye patch, yeah.
It's a pretty cool eye patch. If I had to get an eye patch, I'd pick an eye patch like that.
I have to say though, I had to keep calling him Ken because Amy instantly, whenever she first saw me play the game, she just went straight to her laptop, looked it up, and it is in fact Ken from Digimon Series 2.
But yes, I thought this was a very poor case. It was not that interesting. I like the twist that Fuyuhiko and Peku knew each other like beforehand. That was cool because that's not something they've like. I think that's a cool twist and adds a lot more depth to their characters. It's just a shame that then Peku dies instantly and they can't really build upon that. For strike two for 2 for 2, as I pointed out to me, for fan service ends up being the key evidence you need for the case. As the fan service in this one is all the girls walking in one by one in their bikinis.
Yeah. And you find out that, they must have water on them, whoever the murderer is, and then boom, Peko.
But you know what doesn't get water on it? The shower.
Yeah, alright. So this is the bit I fucking hate it, right? So, as Nick pointed out, the key piece of evidence is whichever one of the girls is wet, right? Right? Now, so the way the scene plays out is that the murder happens, blah, 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 and they have to clean blood off themselves. So they use bottled water to pour water on themselves, which washes off the blood. During the evidence gathering, there is no water. Like water stains or anything. And the best part is that the water bit happens, and then they walk to the storage to hide themselves. So you would think there would be a trail of water from the shower.
You also think they would dry off in that time?
Well, no. Because they argued that whoever had the water, like, they had the water whenever they arrived. So there just shouldn't be any water. I don't know. It's just so bad. like the big reveal in that case.
Like they. Yeah, no, the whole thing is just silly. Like the whole water thing is just silly.
I get you're right, but at the same time, they're writing so many mysteries. One or two of them are bound to not add up as well as the others.
I don't mind it, but I just feel like it was just like a big collection for that bit, and because it was such a big point, is what I'm getting at.
Because it was like the key piece of evidence. That's what really drives that.
I love the whole thing about the case. Is like she escapes through the window, but she still throws the bottles of water in the bin.
Yeah.
Hey man, gotta recycle.
Rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, she threw it in the bin on the crime scene. Like, you could have put it in a different bin.
Third case, double murder. Everyone loves it.
This is my sad case.
Did one of your bays die?
Yeah.
It's such
it
a
a bookie?
bad case.
It was the ultimate nurse.
Oh, was it? Oh.
Yeah.
So, yes, a bookie, rockstar, dies, hanged. Hyoko died, throat slit, dead.
To a pillar.
Yep. And then, turns out, murdered by a nurse.
Yeah.
She got launched into space. I didn't mind. I like the twist in this one I like the playing with locations in this one. And it wasn't actually her. Because I like them trying to frame it as a suicide. Similar to the first game. Where there was a suicide.
The thing that I think me and I were talking about was that the remembering bug was a bit too convenient.
Well, I'm gonna take that further, right? Again, the motive fucking sucks. It is so artificial that it does not improve the character. It doesn't play towards again, say that in the first game, the money one, right? It was the gambler, right? And that makes sense, right? And that sort of shows their character and how into money they are. But in this one, it's it's just unfortunate. You know what I mean? It's just unlucky, you caught the bug. which was created by Monokuma, who's able to instantly cure it before the trial starts. And I think that there just makes this the worst trial, because from the very start, I think it's really bad.
I love this case.
Okay, all right.
Because I was so happy when Hiyoko died. I've cheered out twice in these games whenever someone has died. Once in the third game, whenever Hiyoko died, because she is such a hateful wee bitch.
So I thought that she would actually end up like Fuyuhiko, where I thought she might have like a redemption arc.
Yeah,
but
no.
Yeah, and also because like I liked the nurse. I only talked to them like once, but then I saw like the portrayal of that character, and I was like, no, I'm not Alex, right? I'm not into my weird animes, right? The creepy animes, right? So so I didn't really mind, but I liked it whenever Hiyoko died too.
I liked her.
I also liked whenever she died. I'm not gonna lie, because she bullied the nurse.
Just the point about Alex's thing about the bug being convenient. I kind of agree with it, but I also think it's clever because it's the way it teases that maybe these guys aren't the good guys that everyone thinks they are.
That's the only positive that comes out, is like the foreshadowing for the end.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably the reason why they put it in. It's because we can't just have them be evil at the end. Like, we need to foreshadow it to some extent, because that, for all the faults with their storytelling in this game round, their foreshadowing is still on point, I think.
Sorry, we missed something that happens in this case.
What?
The most underutilized character bites the dust. Old Nekamaru dies in this case.
Oh yeah, actual, not Mekamaru.
Him got there again. Hat spoilers, come on. The case 4, like a phoenix from the ashes, Nekamaru returns, only to die,
only to be struck down
in his prime.
I also lost another bestie in this case.
Was it Nekamaru?
No, it was.
God damn it, Alex.
It was Gundam.
Those were the only 2 characters I got to max rank, and they both died in this case.
I got one more.
That must have been a real fucking sucker punch.
I got one more to max.
I didn't get anyone to max.
So what we learned here is that we should really never be IY's best friend, otherwise we're gonna die.
Well, no, in the first game it was Alex's. All the
yeah,
characters died.
All my peeps died pretty quick in the first game.
Yeah. Nick, we're fucked.
Yep. So this is probably the best case of the locked room mystery.
Yeah.
Where, like...
You hated this case, though.
I didn't hate the case. I hated the fucking room bit.
The escape room?
The escape room was just utter dog shit. I actually really like the rest of this case. I like the change in setting. I like the weird, like... I really like the twist that, like, it's not how... Like, this place isn't laid out how everyone assumed it was laid out. Mm. And it really makes you start thinking differently about how the murder happened. But, so, like... Yeah, it's just that escape room fucking just puts such a fucking shit taste in my mouth. I did find it very funny that Nagano doesn't know how Russian roulette was played. I did think that was very good. No, why would you leave one in? That seems too easy. Just take one out.
Well, he is the ultimate lucky student.
True, yes.
This was actually, for me, was, in my opinion, the worst case of the game. I think it was on for the whole bit of being locked in the room goes on being locked in the funhouse goes way too long.
Like, I think as far as twists in cases go, I think this is the best twist inside during a case. Like, having to essentially rethink how you remember, like, how the whole layout affects the murder.
Yeah, you had to solve mysteries before you solved the big mystery. That was pretty good.
I too thought it was very good, and like I said, it's sort of the part of the game where I sort of got back into it.
Also, the octagon reveal blew my mind. If you cut a rectangle out of a hexagon, it creates an octagon. I was just like, what?
okay, that was the bit in the spot the error bit that I didn't get was like there was a bit where you're seeing like
like also where like they choose you the buildings like where would the octagon be?
But no, I think the case itself was really good. I like the layout of the building. I wrote down that it's a good surprise that Mechamaru is introduced, then dies shortly after.
Yep.
And then I did write that the escape room is one of the best concepts, which added to break up the monotony of investigating.
I also just like the idea of you not playing as Hajime. I think it was a nice twist to suddenly start playing as Nagato.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't change much. It's just it was at night. It was a smart way to put you in the other room without like fixing the elevator, or like, put you in the other house.
I really thought that it was going to be Kazuchi as the murderer in this one.
The mechanic?
Yeah, I was just like, no, it's going to be him.
Yeah, I had a feeling it would be the mechanic because
It
that made the most
seemed too
sense. It's a
perfect.
robot.
Yeah.
That's too obvious though.
I know,
Yeah.
but the thing is, it's too obvious. Makes you think, no, maybe it's not. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those things because
Yeah.
it's a sort of game
Yeah.
where you do overthink stuff.
Yeah.
But no, I feel like that is one of my favorite things about the whole series is the murderer is never like abhorrently obvious,
Yeah,
and I think that's what makes it so interesting. Like I would feel to think, Bara actually would say the next case, which I got tripped up by, like it's never massively obvious what's going on.
Again, like, motive, you know what? Starvation being a motive, I like it.
pretty universal.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, and again, yeah, that's,
Also like the showdown between the two of them is like they both were out to kill each other at the end.
I think maybe it's because of the whole idea of redemption for all the characters, which is the big plot of this game. But I think maybe that's a it is one of the reasons why I like this case is because, again, like in the first case, the murderer maybe wasn't necessarily evil. At least that's what they said at the end, was that maybe they were both sacrificing themselves for us. But I don't know.
I think it's just an ego thing between the two of them, to be honest.
Yeah.
Case 5 starts with a bang.
The
The return of Nekamaru comes back yet again
Mini Maru.
as Minimaru. Man, that really got me. I was in stitches. I'm not gonna lie. Case 5 though.
What a hell of a kiss.
What a fucking banger of a case. Starts apparent suicide of Nagato. Only to find out dude played his hand and got someone murdered.
Right. Imagine trying to write this case as like a writer of the game. Like, right, we need to literally create a case that's unsolvable. And then they have to sit there and go like, right, can we do this? No, because here's the loophole in that. They had to pretty much reverse engineer their game, like designing this. Like, I would have fucking done my head in trying to write this case.
Paid off. So
Fucking
it was.
did.
Right off, I think this is the best case.
Yeah, it was.
Because it's so obviously a suicide, and then the twist is so good. That Nagato's like, no, I'm lucky, I'm gonna catch the fucking traitor.
Mental. Absolutely mental.
Is there any point in discussing case 6? It's not really a case.
But like, should we not discuss it for the fact that it's story?
My last person survived.
Who was it?
Did you say the princess?
It's a princess.
Oh my
God.
god! They say like
Damn it, Alex!
So boring.
like let me tell. I knew like from the first game, Alex is gonna pick the idol, and he picks the princess in this game. Like, goddamn.
I did say the IOI. I wanted to befriend the Ultimate Gamer, but in the funhouse, she wouldn't hang out with you after a certain point.
Give a brief synopsis of what happens in this chapter because it is important. Because people might not have played this game before.
This chapter is essentially, it's revealed that the 15 of you, including Jackie, who was essentially an AI, are actually like disciples of Junko from the first game. You have essentially, and they've all kind of been, since her death, have been working towards filling the world with despair again. You've been found by the survivors of the killing school from the first game.
Yeah, the Future Foundation.
Yes, the Future Foundation, and put into, well, they're kind of working against the Future Foundation.
Yeah.
And put into this essentially rehabilitation program, like literally a virtual world, to try and kind of get them to remember hope and turn them back to not despair. Essentially, so it's kind of revealed during this that your main character was kind of essentially they toyed with the idea of your choices are go back and forget everything that's happened, or forget everything that's happened, but potentially go back to being ultimate despairs, or stay in the or potentially let Junko loose in the world again, which would be bad. Herein lies my biggest issue with the story. Until the very end of the game, I was very much hoping that I called that this was a simulation type thing, as I said, DIY.
Yeah.
Said at the very start, I think they're toying with... Well, not the reason I thought it was, but I thought this was like a simulation type thing. I feel like this adds nothing to the overall story of Danganronpa.
I agree. I think from literally the first thing, which is the very start of the game, you go through a door and it glitches out. I was like, okay, we're in a computer world. Like, I could tell literally from that point that was what the big twist at the end was going to be. We're in a computer world. This game does nothing to further the story, you're right. I think it explores what has happened in the actual world a lot more. Like, you know, the fact that Junko has got disciples and stuff. Like, it fleshes out what's actually happening in the world. But in terms of driving the narrative forward, it doesn't do much.
Yeah, like, I feel like anything you learn in this game, like, doesn't shine new light on anything that happened in the first game, doesn't expand on anything from the first game in a meaningful way. It just, by the end of the, like, when the credits started rolling, I was like, that's actually it. Like, what the fuck?
I find the fact that you kind of just leave all the characters on an island and then it's kind of implied that they'll just stay there and be forgot about.
This would have been good as DLC for the first game. Like, because like, it flashes out, you know, the world that they're in. And, you know, that, like, I think that would have worked. But, like, as a standalone game, it does reek of just, yeah, this is just kind of filler. Because you just wanted another game and we weren't really ready to do anything different.
I think I want to disagree.
Okay.
I think. Alright, so I think it is perfectly fine that a game expands on the worlds. One of you guys, or maybe two of you, we were split on this, is that in the first game, it had that open ending.
Yeah.
You have now found out that was true, which is good. My issue more comes with... It is personally my own preference, but the reason why I love something like the first case, and all the cases in the first game, was because everything was so real. So those kind of murders could happen, right? But in this game, because everything's artificial, for me, I don't know, like, because the game got kind of weird in the middle, I didn't like the game. But then it went all the way crazy at the end, right? With some, like, you know, as I said to you guys, it's like, you know, Ocelot, like, you know, arm grafting from Metal Gear Solid, and then there was some, like, Persona Destiny bullets at the end, like...
Oh, yeah, sorry. The fact that Hajime goes Super Saiyan fucking made me laugh my ass off, can I just say? He legit just goes Super Saiyan, and I lost it.
Like, I don't really mind the story by the end of it. And I said this to, I think, Alex, it was last night, and it was that I like it whenever a sequel makes me care more about the characters from the first game. Because whenever those characters appear, I'm like, oh, cameo, let's go. Like, this is so cool. And, like, it made the protagonist from the first game actually someone, because he didn't have to be through you, which I thought was really good. So I think, like, that whole, like, reveal, that moment is really good. I do agree, though, that the ending's pretty trash. The whole island thing, and, like... Yeah. Also, why are we wearing suits in Apocalypse, by the way? I'm just
You're
saying.
part of a cool secret company. You gotta look stylish.
Like,
it's called the Future Foundation. It's not called the Future Rebellion or the Future Resistance Foundation.
Like,
there's classiness to that.
Like, that's the thing. Like, you know, if they're all suited up, you know, the world mustn't be as bad as, you know, we're led to believe, right?
Yeah.
The thing that I find strange is, like, so the people who were killed in simulation are essentially brain dead. So they're going to leave them on an island with other people who aren't, like, medically trained or, you know, all that kind of jazz. An island with limited supplies, the vast majority of their classmates now brain dead. Now, why? Why don't you just take them somewhere else?
Well, one, they are still, like, remember, the whole point of those emails is to say, like, they kind of hijacked those 15 away from the Future Foundation
Yeah.
to see if they could cure them. When they say brain dead, I'm assuming they are still kind of hooked up to the
Machines, yeah.
the program, essentially.
Because the machine would technically have to keep them all alive anyway to run the simulation. Like, you know, I'm sure there's like food or something being pumped into them.
Like, I'm assuming that's why they don't take them off the island, is because they still probably have to hide them. I have nothing left to add about story characters.
I have nothing left to add about the story and characters for these two games.
Oh, well, I'll talk about it next year, Hans.
But the third one doesn't have anything to do with the first two.
You're still going to pick it next year or not?
You know what? I'm actually considering no. Because I really struggled getting through this.
But
Yeah, no. In
isn't-
the third
Go on.
in the third game, the first two games are literally games in that universe. Like they're literally like they are a semi-popular like video game in the world of Danganronpa 3.
So you're saying it's like Digimon season 1 and 2 versus season 3, where in season 3 it's just a game?
Yeah, kinda. Except that is popular.
Like, this actual story is continued in the anime, isn't it?
Yeah, so yeah, they released the anime before Danganronpa V3. They released the anime. The ties off Makato's story. So they do. And like, to be fair, when it rounds it off all really nicely. It fills in literally all the blanks you could probably want filled in. So it's a really nice story. It's really nice at the end of it, but still kind of a shame that the third game has nothing to do with it. But that's what we should do. Next year we'll do a Let's Watch of the Danganronpa anime.
We're so gonna forget what happened though. Like, beforehand.
It fills you in. It fills you all in, and it is actually.
You know how much Nick likes being filled in about the previous things?
But do you know what the worst bit
I
is?
thought you were going to make a gay
Okay,
joke.
I thought he was making a gay joke too. Do you know what the worst thing is though? And it actually kind of nearly ruins it. They don't get Monokuma's voice actor back in for the dub. It's a completely different voice actor, and he's fucking shit. But no, I would recommend the anime. It's very good.
Oh, actually, since you mentioned Monokuma, I forgot about Monomi. Right? I don't know about you guys, but I thought it was so cringy and like really bad. The whole like, you know, all the scenes where like Monokuma's like punching her.
Yeah.
And then it like uses like the same like kind of jokes over and over again, and it was just like just
I just find both of them quite cringy. This game, I skipped through like the theaters and
I
stuff.
felt like I had a lot less patience for Monokuma's bullshit this game.
Yeah.
It wasn't even that. It's the fact they seemed to water him down. He like was just they leaned a lot more towards his comedy side, where in the first one he was also sinister. And he didn't feel as sinister this time around. Maybe it's just because you know you can beat him this time, but like compared to the first one, he wasn't as scary this time around.
But what I would say though is I like Monomi's theme. I like that.
So, I was going to say, obviously, our last section kind of does improve on the previous game, but I feel like we've maybe covered that.
Well, I want to hear
we
Alex's
covered
opinion.
in gameplay. Really.
I think, yeah, this is kind of... I brought this up. Alex, from what I've heard, do you think this is a better game than the first?
I liked it more.
But
How?
you would say there is still flaws in this game compared
Oh yeah,
to the
no,
first.
I'm not saying it's a perfect game.
Yeah.
I'll not even ask because we'll get to it probably when we do our like conclusions. So is there anything else anyone wants to add before we conclude this? So, personally, I would really, really struggle to recommend this to someone. Even if they really like the first game, I don't think it does enough to the story. I don't think it does enough, adds enough to the gameplay to like be a decent sequel to that first game. I just think everything it does is either poorly done, a step in the wrong direction, or just takes far too fucking long. Playing this game left a really, really bad taste in my mouth about the first game. I felt like this was a cheap sequel that didn't need to be made.
I did not enjoy it this time around, but I do have a lot of memories of enjoying it the first time around. Of really enjoying it the first time around, to be honest. I agree it's not a great sequel. I think out of the trilogy, it's definitely the weakest So a lot of the new stuff they add doesn't gel as well as it should. All in all, like, I still really enjoyed it the first time I played this, and I probably would still recommend. If you haven't played it before, definitely I would recommend it. Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. Obviously, I think it's just the craziness of the cases hooked me in a lot more, like, because they could go so crazy with the whole virtual thing, the robot people and stuff. So I think the craziness just drew me in more than the other game, which was more real. So that's why I think this game has an overarching story, not like individual cases, but as an entire thing. I think it went quite well. I think I like this one more for this, like the story and the twists than the first game. They're still both really good games, though. I want to say both of them. The first game is amazing, and this one is pretty good.
So I feel like this is the kind of game where I would recommend it if you're the kind of person who just wants sort of like that wee taste of like murder mystery kind of thing, and like you don't really mind that, you know, maybe over like the whole thing is not great, but like, you know, if you're a kind of person like me, like we'll say like a Phoenix Wright game, like I'll admit that, like, say like even the second Phoenix Wright game is not very good, but like, you know, I enjoy like a bit of murder mystery, and so I would still recommend it, even if like you are that kind of person. Just be warned, the second, third case suck ass, but I think it's okay. But it does not improve on the first game at all. Play the first game.
Play them both.
No. My sentiment is just play the first game.
No, play.
First game ends so well. Like, there's enough of a mystery.
They need to see
it's intriguing.
the Nagano case, though.
So, although what I would say,
play the first game, watch the anime, then go play the third game.
Yeah. So what I was going to say is, actually, I might have a different opinion of this if we ever played the third game, because it might be a situation where like maybe the second game truly adds nothing, but from what Hans has told me, the third game has nothing to do with anything. So maybe just play the first game forever, guys. Maybe.
No, I mean, like, the third game's still great, and like,
I don't know. From talking to someone at work who's played them all, he said the third game adds some bullshit mechanics.
actually, the mechanics wasn't my issue with the third game.
Like, he said there's literally, like, parts of the cases you have to lie,
Yeah,
which flies completely in the face of what you're trying to do.
yeah, you can say that, but at the same time, you're acting like people don't lie. It adds a more natural mechanic to it because people do fucking lie.
I'm curious about the third game.
I think the third game's fantastic.
Well, this time next year you'll be playing it, so.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
So all in all, varied opinions. Some say don't play it. Some
One
say
person
play
said don't play it. You can't say you said
it.
don't play
I
it.
said don't play it.
No, I said play it.
I said don't
I
play
think
it.
like it is only for like if you're that like very specific person. I think like you know if you are though is the thing.
So that brings us to the end of our killing school
Can
trip.
I say something?
Yeah.
Play the first game, and then get the second one on sale, so you're not really risking anything. There you go. Everyone wins.
Read a
I
synopsis.
hope the third game is going to be like on a big discount.
Yeah, I'm not paying that much for it. There you go.
But before we leave, July is here. IY,
Hello.
tell us what we'll be playing.
Okay. Now, do we want a long game, like a really long game, or do we want like?
I want
You
you to
pick
talk us through your
whatever
choices
you want.
that you have been running through your head.
Okay.
You pick whatever you want, IY.
Okay. So the game I have picked, because Nick was so desperate for a good game, right? The game I have picked for next month is Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition.
I don't think you can buy the original
That is,
version anymore.
I think you'll find it, Nick. If you go into the Steam store page, it says you get the original, which is really weird, for buying the Definitive Edition if you do not own it in your library.
I own the original.
Unlucky, Alex.
Is there an upgrade option? There is not an upgrade. I'm not buying it. I'm playing the original version.
I guess
What's the
it's,
difference?
I think it's just added. It's more
New
stuff.
in the definitive edition. packed with new and additional content, new areas, new secrets, new abilities, more story sequences, multiple difficulty modes, full backtracking support, and much more. Discover Nairu's past in 2 brand new environments, master 2 new powerful abilities, dash and light burst, find new areas and explore Nibble faster by teleporting between spirit realms. Wells.
So what I'm saying, Nick, is that it's not Sleepy Dogs.
Correct. It's not. You betrayed me.
Look, man, I gotta save that hard drive space, right? For whenever Battle for Azeroth comes out.
So yes, join us the end of July where we'll be playing Ori and the Blind Forest. But for now, goodbye from Hans. Goodbye from Alex.
Bye.
Goodbye from IOI.
Bye.
Goodbye from me. Kill your schoolmates.